ahead and painted the flat earth on there, and as you can see, it looks pretty awesome. And still not done with it yet. What I'd like to do is add one more layer before I add on any kind of grass or anything like that. It comes again from Citadel, and it is a technical paint. This is one of their newer releases. It's called Typhus Corrosion, and you just shake it up and you're basically good to go. I was told that this was, I think they even said it on their website, it was supposed to mimic oil stains and stuff like that. And at the time, the aircraft I was building, I really wanted to have these oil stains, but when I got it, there's actually these little pebbles in it, that look kind of like dirt. And on their, I was very confused, so I actually went ahead and watched one of their videos, and in the video they had the guy painted it on a tank, and it's meant to look like dirt. Really, really nice stuff, but very, very misinformed as to really what it does. So like I said, you just shake it up, and it looks like it's got dirt or kind of grainy sand in it. If you've been out in the garden and you wash your hands, that's kind of what it looks like. So it's just this brown texture here, and again, it is a wash. So I'm just going to apply this, same what I just did there with the brown, and I'm actually going to apply quite a bit of it here onto the edges like this. So now it looks really, muddy. I quite like that look. And I have tried painting this on a tank before, and very nice stuff. It looks good. Does not look like oil, so if you want a quick way to muddy up a tank or some kind of armored vehicle, whatever it may be, boots even, this would work really well for something like that. It's a bit expensive in my opinion. It's about $5 for this little jar. But yeah, I'm gonna also just lightly paint it on all over, and this will take me a little while to do, but this has been a product I don't think I've shown before, but I've wanted to in the past, but yeah, never had a project to get around to doing it. So yeah, again, I quite like that, and the little bit of pebbled texture, this graininess to it really looks quite terrific on vehicles. On here, I can see it pretty well on the parts of green stuff that I'm painting. I can really see this kind of muddy, runny dirt in there. But when I paint it onto the snow, it just more or less loses its appeal, or effect, I should say. So, like I said, I'm gonna go finish painting this stuff on here, and do a bunch of touch-ups and whatnot that I can find. There we go. So yeah, there's a couple areas I can see that just need a little bit of touch-up. You gotta do that when it's drier, so I'm gonna go ahead and repaint the rest, or paint the rest of this, and do a bunch of touch-ups, and then we're getting closer to getting ready to add some grass on here. Kind of liking the way it's looking, to be honest, so I don't think I'm kind of toying with the idea of maybe not adding a lot of grass on it. So I'm gonna wait and see what this stuff looks like after it's finished drying out thoroughly. So wait and see. Alright guys, I went ahead and dry brushed some more colors. I dry brushed some wooden deck tan. That's XF78. And I decided to do some really bright highlights, and I dry brushed some flat flesh. That's XF15. Now, I was going to add a lot of grass on here, but I actually like this a lot more. So what I went ahead and did is I put a peg in here, and his foot's just a bit of wire, and I've added some gel super glue onto his feet. And yeah, I'm gonna glue him down now. And that should be very secure, I think. If not, I can add some just regular contact super glue. That actually seems to be doing really, really well. Okay. Now, the reason why I want to do this is I don't want to assemble him. I'd like to have him permanently affixed here, and now I can start to assemble him as well. Now what I'm going to do is add on a bit of grass. So I've got to go grab the grass. I didn't think this guy was going to actually glue this quick. The super glue is kind of weird. It's like you let it air dry for about 30 seconds before you put it on. It becomes rock hard. But like if I were to just put it on as soon as it came on there, I'd be holding this for a few minutes. It's kind of weird. But anyways, I like this quite a bit. I think that looks pretty mean. And it's nice to have this wider base because he is made out of metal. He's got quite a bit of weight. I can really feel it now when I just pick up the base like this. But yeah, what I'm going to go do now is I'm going to go get the grass stuff. I have to dig it out. I can't remember where I put it. Anyways, I'll be back with that. We're going to just add a little bit of grass texture onto this base here, but dry brushing all this layered, all these layers of paint, I like that a lot. I think it looks really good. Very, very happy with how that turned out in the end. Much, much better than I had imagined. So, okay, I'm going to use some Elmer's clear glue. I like to use this for canopies and whatever else I can think of. And I think I'll use my paint stir. And I just want to have a couple patches of grass and just a few areas here. Now I can also use a paintbrush for this if I want to, but what I also have here is some Citadel Grass. I remember a little while ago of searching for grass. Dogs. Anyways, and I really, really wanted some. Ignore them. Okay. I really wanted some multicolored grass, and I could basically only find one color. It'd be like just one shade of green, and I'd have to buy like 6 bags to mix greens and browns and dead grass and all that stuff. That's way too expensive, especially since these were huge bottles. So I was happy when I found out that Citadel makes basically exactly what I wanted. And it's not that expensive. This was a $10 little bucket here. And I really like it. Now, the one thing you want to always keep mention when you're doing this type of stuff is don't blow off the excess grass, because most likely you'll blow other grass particles. I've done that a few times before in the past. So, yeah, there's just some areas. Let's add one more underneath him that way. Just to break up the monotony there. So, just a little patch. I'm using quite a liberal amount of glue. If you apply this a bit too thin, it doesn't quite pick itself up. So if you use quite a liberal amount, helps more grass take to it. So these are kind of little pools or little mounds of glue, I guess. So here's the Citadel Grass. See, it's got all sorts of different colors in there that I really like. And yeah, I'm not going to use a lot of this stuff because I actually really like the base, but I just want to add a little more color. So I'm just going to have the tray here and pick some stuff up and just sprinkle it on my model here. And let's do some more here on the back. And you can press this down if you like. But let me just wipe that off there. And now I'm going to tip the figure and just tap it off. And let's get some more here. Spin them around. Now there's some. Now this is static grass. And static grass loves to stick to anything and everything. So I'm just going to blow it off on the side. And I need a little bit more here. I can see that. Okay. I think that's about the best I'm going to get right now. But let me just put this to the side and evaluate how my grass looks. See if I want to add any more. Areas I may have added too much. But to be honest, I think I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I don't know. I think it's a pretty fair balance. This is something you can play with. Same thing with weathering. You know, when you're weathering a model, it's better to do little by little. That way you don't, go overboard with it. And same thing I think can apply to this situation here. I just do a little bit at a time. If I want to add a little bit more, I can. But I don't exactly have to. Which is a nice, option. I didn't accidentally add too much. Where I feel the need, I have to take stuff away. So I think I am going to add just a bit more, maybe on the boot here. And so it looks like he's stepping in a patch of grass. So I think I'm going to do that. I think that'll look good because it just needs a little bit something over on that side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And after this dries a little more thoroughly, one thing you can do with this static grass on a little base like this, you can flip it upside down and let it dry, and all the grass will fall upward. It looks kind of cool, more realistic. But this looks pretty darn good just the way it is. I'm quite happy with how that turned out. So like I said, I'm going to go take care of just this little boot here. And it's going to help. That's also going to help hide a little bit of a gap he's got there. I didn't notice that before, so that'll be nice to hide that. It's finished. I'm very happy to have this one done. This was a fun, very fun project. I realize not as fun to watch with my low quality camera. I apologize, guys. Anyways, yeah, this is, like I said, this is a project I've wanted to do for a while. Really glad I finally got to do it. Very thrilled with the end result. All I did last was glue the pieces together, give it a flat coat, and it's done. The gluing him together was a big problem. I ran into way too many issues. Probably the worst one of all. His center of gravity is all in the front here compared to where his feet are. So he actually fell forward. And what I did is I basically pulled him forward, poured a whole bunch of super glue beneath his feet, and then just pushed him back, let him sit there for a few hours. A lot of the pieces just didn't fit. You know, his arms here, his shoulders didn't fit, and his head didn't fit. You kind of have to find this weird way of making them work in there, and I ended up just cutting off the nubs and kind of gluing them in there as best I could. He's stuck there. He's sturdy. I'm, again, really happy. Last thing, again, flat coat. And this was a really big, just fun opportunity to play around with Vallejo paints. I've wanted to do them, to try this for quite a while now. Decided to finally get around to it. And I didn't add any tattooing on him, mainly because I decided you're not really going to see it as much. There's a couple other Ogre figures that I would like to try that on still, but as far as this guy goes, I'm quite happy with him not having tattoos. And besides, I got another guy I can try that out on whenever I want to, but I doubt I'll do a video of that one. You know, it's figurines. I know, guys, you expect a lot of spaceships and aircraft and tanks, and I branch off into figures and stuff that's not really up a lot of people's alley. I know it's a little, some people are turned off by it, but anyways, it's, for me, that's all part of modeling, is building whatever is fun, whatever I feel like building, and this was definitely a fun just escape to play around, learn about colors, learn how to apply colors so that you see them in different tones and patterns, you know, especially with the pants, learning how to paint blue highlights, dark highlights, washes, and all that stuff, and getting to play around with skin tones was definitely a lot of fun. So, like I said, guys, he's done. I'll be bringing you guys more regular builds and what have you, but definitely glad I buckled in and did this guy. He was really, really fun to just sit there and paint. I don't usually have this much fun painting, but with this guy, it definitely did. I'm not as big a fan of the little figurines and stuff like that. You know, they're small, but they've got nice detail on them. But in the bigger scale like this, you can appreciate all the little details a bit more, and I feel like I have more control to add in detail and stuff like that. So his eyes, I'm really happy with. They were the ones that were really getting to me. I didn't know if I was going to be able to pull them off, but I'm really surprised that I did. So yeah, here he is, the Ogre Tyrant from Warhammer, Citadel Miniatures. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. You can leave comments down below if you like. I always love reading and responding to as many of those as I can. And like I said, I'm going to go off. I've got a couple builds here on the shelf that I'm going to go work at right now. And I will see you guys in the next build. This is Rebels of Cloud 9. If I haven't taught you anything, at least you've learned what not to do. See you guys later.